Welcome to Silver Bar Stacker, folks. I hope everyone's doing well and having a happy Thursday. Well, we've got an interesting show for you today, and in addition to a couple exciting mail calls, we've got a very interesting topic to discuss. And this is a topic that I've been thinking about pretty long and hard over the past week or so. I would say exactly over the past 7 days or so. And that question is, what is the primary business model of eBay? And this is just kind of a question to pose out to the community because I've had a pretty extensive experience, extensive historical experience here with eBay, and I know that there are thousands and thousands and thousands of other individuals out there who have done the same. They've all had their own unique experiences with eBay, and so on face value, it seems like, okay, well, eBay's business model is simple. You know, there's a network of sellers that sell, and basically, you know, they take a little bit of fees. And in eBay's case, they take a lot of bit of fees off the top, and that's a pretty easy business model. In fact, they even allow for advertising for some of the things that you sell. And so if you want to get a little bit more visibility on some of your posts, they can make additional income that way by actually running ads on their platform. So pretty cool. Like, that's definitely one of the ways that eBay generates income. And now I started to think about, well, you know, such a big company like this, sometimes, you know, I guess some people have good experiences with eBay, other people get mistreated, right? And I know I'm not alone in the camp of people that get mistreated, but you know, when it comes down to it, I was started to think about, well, what are the other potential revenue streams for a company like this? And so I just thought, you know, what are the possibilities? Who knows? Maybe they own some, you know, fast food franchises or something for all I know. I haven't done much research, but I just started thinking to myself and just started kind of having a little bit of a brainstorming session of like, I wonder where else money could be made, you know, in such a large organization such as this. And so, anyways, this is not something that I was initially thinking about or considering, but I was looking at my account balance and I was like, well, there's still, you know, 30 grand stuck in there. And so I was thinking to myself, well, I've sent out these envelopes to all of these individuals, and I have told them, hey, you know, we've got a new website up, come check it out, here's a coupon code. A lot of people have showed up on the website. Some people have even made contact, but I wouldn't say that, you know, I've been able to make contact with all of those past customers in the sense that I can freely chat with them off of the eBay messaging platform. And now, for anybody who knows, the eBay messaging platform is something that is highly monitored. In fact, eBay themselves tells you that. They say that, hey, just so you know, don't do anything that's going to be against our terms. Don't try to make deals offline. Don't do anything shady like that, because we will be monitoring all these messages. We see what you write, and so don't even try it. Okay, so I knew this. I knew that they would be monitoring anything, but I had reached a point sitting there during the nighttime just thinking to myself, like, okay, well, how the heck am I going to get all this 30 grand that's in here unlocked? They're not giving it to me, and they said that that decision is final. And they didn't even give a reason for that. After me providing all the business documentation, all the supplier information, all the receipts that they required multiple times over, they still unfairly and unethically and illegally held that money for months. Imagine $30,000. That's like a salary for a normal person for the entire year is what they were holding. And normal people put not their entire year's worth of salary into a savings account, but some of it to earn a very small amount of percentage point, but a percentage point that makes a difference and then can accrue a little bit of interest, that 30 grand. They just treated it like it was, I don't know, like their lunch money or something. And they basically just held that. And not only did I not earn interest on that, I had to pay over $2,000 in interest on because of all the money they held and everything that was caused because of this. I had so much money tied up because of this. It was unreal. So at that point, I was just like, this is ridiculous. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to make contact with them. And I heard some stories of people's funds. I don't know who it was, but basically they told me that after 3 months, their funds were just gone. There's no record of the sales. They couldn't do anything after that point, which makes sense because when I was logging into my PayPal account, which by the way, PayPal was holding 10,000 from us as well. They basically said, I remember reading something about how after 180 days, you can't refund anybody or anything like that. That transaction is basically final. And I was pretty proactive about the whole PayPal situation. When PayPal decided that they are going to say they're going to withhold my money until I give them more information, you know what I told them? I said, screw you, we're not using you. And so what I did was I went through and I refunded all those customers for that 10 grand, and we figured it out through the website. I just had them pay with their credit card. I didn't give a crap because I wasn't going to be mistreated just like eBay mistreated me. Okay, so what did I? So I reversed everything in PayPal. That was simple. Refunded everybody, got my money back through repurchases. The 30 grand stuck on eBay, it wasn't that simple. How would I make contact with them? Everything that I would message them would be monitored. And so what did I do? I actually on the 20th, this is exactly a week ago, on the 20th, what I did was I went on the eBay messaging platform knowing that my messages would be monitored, and I messaged about 15 or 20 people who bought big ticket items like 100-ounce bars, an ounce of gold, things like that. And I said, hi there, I hope you're enjoying your whatever it is that they ordered. And I said, the funds you paid are still being held by eBay, so we'd like to process a sizable discount on your order. Please get in touch via our website contact form if possible. Thank you. That's what I said. So I just said I wanted to process a sizable discount on your order. Wouldn't you feel like weirded out if you got a message like that? Well, I just bought a 100-ounce bar from this guy. Why does he want to give me a sizable discount? Why is he telling me to reach out to him offline? It just seems reeks of sketchiness. And so, rightfully so, one person quickly responded like, well, what do you mean the funds are still being held? Right? He's just like, what do I have to do with this? So then I decided to clarify. Okay, and I said, hey, we've been wondering the same thing about why our funds have been tied up. And so basically what I had said was, we've kind of been going back and forth with the eBay review team. It started with them asking us for ID verification, business documentation, supplier information, and tracking information for all the items we sold. And, we provided it multiple times over, and they kept rejecting it. And so I started explaining to this guy everything. And I said, eventually they just locked us out with no explanation whatsoever. And I told him, I started going on. I was like, we run a legit LLC. We have all the documentation. We only purchase from like legit suppliers. And in fact, I told this guy, I even gave him a receipt. I said, hey, look, this is where we actually ordered your stuff. It was from AppMax. We did a bulk order there. And so just for your peace of mind. And I said, it absolutely makes no sense. I said, we have a store that we run all of our business through now. And I said we run a relatively well followed YouTube channel. I said it makes no sense. And I said it reaches the point where we, they put us on a permanent hold from selling, but they're still allowing us to do everything else. Right? And so I'm explaining this to this guy, and I say, look, they have over $30,000 of ours still held in there from a weekend auction that happened 2 months ago. This weekend auction that we're talking about in question happened literally August 20th or something like that. And I told him, I said, we have 30K still held in the account. They're not being released to us. And I told them the only thing they're allowing us to do is refund people. So I just told them, I said, look, I'm just looking to refund you. Whatever, I don't care. I'll take the risk of refunding you first if I have to, because this money hasn't even come to my account anyways. I'm just looking to basically refund you and get you to pay again. But I didn't tell him that, right? Because that would be against the eBay terms. So it's just like they're allowing us to refund customers even though we shouldn't need to, as all the items have successfully shipped. And it's now come to the point where we need to do damage control and have gotten our legal team involved and sent a letter to eBay's legal team. And then I said, after that point, we're going to need to go through arbitration, but we're just hoping to recover some of the funds that we are able to up until that point. I said, at this point, your support would be greatly appreciated, but it's not required, right? I just told him, no pressure, bro. But look, they're screwing us, and so we're just trying to do damage control here. I said, you want to read more details about this? Go check out our YouTube channel. I said, we've got all the videos up on this subject. Check the site out if you get a chance, and there's a form there for getting in touch. That's all I said to him, and I went to bed. Right? I just went to bed. I was like, I don't give a crap. I'm going to see what happens in the morning, and da-da-da-da. Okay, so in the morning, I wake up, okay, and I get a message from eBay. I get a message from eBay saying, oh, we're sending $28,000 to your bank account. Excuse me? You're sending all my money back to my bank account. So then I start doing some research. I'm like, okay, freaking don't believe it till I see it. That's what I basically said. And then I started doing some research, and I came to find out, okay, well, the account is still banned from selling. Okay, so what the heck is going on now? They're refunding all my money after telling me that they're not going to. That's the final decision. It's not going to happen, even after I've given them all the documentation to prove that I am who I am, and everything is all good to go. And now they're refunding me all the money. They're saying, hey, we've sent you your payout. Oh, out of the blue, randomly, a couple hours after I've sent everybody telling them I'm intending to refund them all so that you lose all your fees, eBay. If I did that, if I continued to do that, I did that for one person. $2,000, refunded him on eBay, had him repurchase on the website. And I was planning on doing that with the remaining $28,000. Slowly but surely I was going to do that. And so they knew that because I sent out an initial blast to all the high-paying customers, and they were fearful, I think. They were fearful and greedy. They found out that, okay, well, we slipped up here. We're not going to issue an apology. We're not going to issue damages, and we're going to act like this didn't happen, and we're just going to refund this guy his money that he should have gotten 2 months ago, that he's paid $2,000 interest on and has gotten an insane emotional damage. The entire family and extended family and all the business partners and then some have been dragged through this. Even some of my suppliers have been dragged through this. Had to call them late at night trying to get myself out of this dang issue. So that's not okay. This is not just over, right? And so I'm now questioning, what is the actual business model of eBay? Okay, that could have been just them doing damage control because they saw somebody who had rightfully sold stuff on there that they had harassed into oblivion, who was getting prepared to take measures into his own hands. I was basically going to get that money unlocked from eBay, who was not legally entitled to that money, who was illegally holding that from me, and who caused irreparable harm to me and my family and my business partners and some of the members of the community as well. Right? I'm not okay with that. So are they accepting that they made a mistake here? I did not get any issue, and I don't think that they're accepting they made a mistake here, or I think they are, because my account is still locked. I'm still locked out from selling, which I'm totally okay with, because I don't want to sell for a crooked company like that. But what I'm trying to say is that where's the explanation there? Where's the apology there? Where are the damages there? Okay, and so what are they doing with that money that's been held there? Is that common practice? Are they doing this to thousands of other sellers? Of course they are. I am not unique in this situation. I am simply one of the few that are probably speaking up about it, who is now remaining silent about it, so that other people can learn about this freaking issue that I've gotten myself into. So what are they doing with that money? What would I do with that money if I was illegally holding it from somebody? Well, I'm not the only person they're holding it from. Like I said, there's smaller sellers than me who they may have held $3,000 from. There's larger sellers from me that they may be holding $300,000 from. And there may be some corporate seller that they're holding $3 million from. And all these individuals are either taking it or they're not taking it. But I don't know who's actually following through and getting their $28,000 back. It was because I put the pressure on them and I did everything that I needed to do, and I proved prove that, you know what, you guys are going to get into further and further trouble if you keep this up. So the reason I need to state that this all happened is because other people are going through this too. And so they're going to be in that same situation. They're going to be wondering, what the heck do I do? And so maybe just try doing what I did. Try reaching out. If you're an honest person and you're not an actual scammer, right? If you're a scammer, then they're rightfully holding your money. I don't know if they're the ones who deserve it, but certainly, if you scam somebody out of their money, that's a whole completely different story. But in this situation, they realized they made a mistake. Somebody read those messages at night while I was sleeping and made the determination, this guy is telling the truth and we're in serious trouble if we don't nip this in the bud right now. Yeah, you're damn right you are. Now, own up to it. Don't be a little child. So anyways, that's all I got to say. I'm questioning. All I got to say is I'm questioning, what are they doing with that 30 grand? Millions of dollars, honestly, that's been held for an unknown reason. This was held for 2 months, 30 grand for 2 months. What's the interest on that? Okay, I'll tell you what interest I paid on that. That's not as much interest as they made, or maybe they made a lot more because they invested it. I don't know. All I know is that money was not theirs to invest, if that's what they were doing with it. And it wasn't theirs to sit on for 2 months either. Okay? That just is not okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the things that we've picked up here. What we got over here is a nice set of Bill of Rights rounds. Now these rounds don't come in the original seal, but it's something that I wanted to pick up regardless because we had just sold through one of our Bill of Rights round sets. And so I thought, why not go ahead and scoop up a replacement while they're still available, right? Because I'm not exactly sure what the mintage is on these, but I definitely felt that they're not always going to be available. And so if you recall, the other Bill of Rights rounds that I have, now these ones come in the original factory seal, and so these are the ones that I'm really quite a fan of. I really, really appreciate having these sealed sets of Bill of Rights rounds. But it's also nice to have a loose, a nice little loose set. In fact, what we could do is we could potentially even just do a nice SPS drop for these, right? We'll do a nice SPS drop 1 week where each person who enters the drop will have a chance to win one of the 10 Bill of Rights rounds, and we'll just split up this Bill of Rights round set for SPS drop, and that will be to promote our product line of the few sealed Bill of Rights sets that we have available. And these right now you can grab on the website. Premium is a little bit high, right? It's a little bit high for a per ounce basis, but I was looking online recently for generics, and I just think premiums have gone through the roof for silver, at least. For small denominational silver, it's gotten quite ridiculous, actually. 26 bucks, really, 26, 27 bucks for just the most generic, bar round, really. Rounds, I guess, come a little bit cheaper, but generally speaking, bars and rounds, generic. The most generic of the generic at your major stores, I would say, is going to run you like 27 bucks. And then you have to figure in taxes when you're buying small denominations. So ultimately, you get up to like 30 bucks. So for me, if I can get some nice premium vintage for a few bucks more, like, I don't mind paying in the 30s personally. This one ultimately ends up getting into like the 40s an ounce, so it ends up being a little pricey, but then you have the added layers of value. So this is kind of like, I always talk about, more layers of value, less liquid, harder to sell, but more for you to appreciate, right? And so when you're buying collectibles, always think about, I'm not saying think about yourself first. Yes, think about yourself first, because you're the one who needs to enjoy it, right? So always think about yourself first, so you don't end up being like SBS and having a bunch of things such as like, I'm not really into Star Wars, so I probably have way more Star Wars than I actually appreciate, but I just have it, you know, for the purposes of the business. But like, so when you're trying to buy collectibles for your personal collection, you know, it's okay to splurge occasionally if you are treating yourself and you want to get a couple added layers of value and you're paying a little bit of a premium for that. It's okay, especially if you're buying it for yourself, but be reasonable with it. Don't have your entire stack be stuff like that's super illiquid or super hard to, you know, get rid of, unless, you know, you're kind of cool with that sort of long-term plan and you have like a process, you know, but you should layer out your stack. It shouldn't all be one thing. That's all I'm gonna say, you know. But this is a nice sealed set that I appreciate, and this is a nice unsealed set that I also appreciate. You know, I appreciate the unsealed sets as well, just because it doesn't have that layer of value. I mean, these are more liquid then, you know what I'm saying? It's more accessible, something like this, these unsealed ones. So I'm really excited to pick that one up. I'm really excited to just always be able to replace something. A lot of times what happens with these highly collectible things is that once they sell, then I can't easily replace them, or I cannot replace them, right? And so that's why you got to be a little bit proactive as well, you know, when it comes to managing inventory and stuff like that. So here's another one that's like getting harder and harder to source for reasonable prices by the day. Check this out. It's a nice A-Mark USVI chunky stacker. Super excited to pick up another one of these. Guess I'll just leave it in the cellophane. No, I'll take it out real quick. I always love these nice poured stackable bars. This is another one that we kind of had sold through one of these, and so it's kind of a hot item, and so I had to definitely try to source another one for sure. So I always like picking up the chunky stackers whenever I see them available. I'm really excited that the 10-ounce chunky stackers, for whatever reason, just come at like, honestly, they come at a higher premium for whatever reason. It's kind of like the Libertads, right? Like you get the fractional Libertads, they don't get much cheaper. Like premium wise, they get more expensive, in fact, as they get smaller, almost, right? It kind of has to do with mintages and just, you know, sometimes like I've seen like on Atmex, for example, they have a 1/20th ounce Mexican Libertad that costs more than the 1/10th ounce Libertad. And you know, and then they have a 1/4 ounce Libertad, and you know, sometimes you can get a 1 ounce Libertad for cheaper than some of the fractional Libertads. And so the reason I'm saying that is because for whatever reason I've managed to get a nicer pricing actually on the 1 ounce stackers than I have on the 10 ounce stackers. And so right now we're selling the chunky stackers on our website for quite a good price, but we recently got a new supply of one of our suppliers got a nice big supply of chunky stackers, and so we're going to be able to put those on an even more aggressive promotion and be very, very competitive with the pricing on our 1 ounce chunky stackers. So I'm excited to get that supply and you know, run some new promotions, and most of all, what I'm very excited about is we've got more SPS drops coming. And let me tell you, we were just talking about Libertads. We got a nice supply of some fractional Libertads that are coming in as well. And so what we're going to probably start doing is every Friday is what I'm hoping. We're going to start doing Fractional Friday SPS drops. And so those are going to start on Friday, and we're going to have nice fractional stack packs that we're going to send out via standard envelope and mail probably. Just to keep the costs low, maybe try to do those drops for like $20, right? So where you can get like, you know, some fractional silver for like really accessible price, like $20, maybe anywhere between like a 1/10 ounce to a 1/2 ounce worth of metals. And then we'll also continue to do our kind of 1 ounce, normal 1 ounce drops on Sundays, where we'll have kind of like a more or less kind of like a 1 ounce or more than 1 ounce SPS drops that we do weekly as well. So that way we're catering to the fractional crew, we're catering to the normal stacking crew who want to stack their vintage at a reasonable price, and who knows, we might have some more themed drops that we do moving forward as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this unboxing, and I hope you guys are ready for some fun. Cheers! I almost forgot to mention, I picked up a nice replacement Unheld 10 ouncer. Cheers.